Good morning, students of class 10. Welcome back to the e-classes now. Let's continue our lesson in English. We are doing the glimpses of India uh, from the textbook, lesson 7. So we have finished the supplementary reader. Now we are doing the textbook, the remaining lessons, lesson 7. You can see that glimpses of India, lesson 7, and that too second part. The first part was the baker from Goa, and the second part is the corgi from part 2 from this chapter. Now here, second, we'll go to the second subtitle over here, of Greek and Arabic descent. From where these people have come, because they are quite different from the Indian people. Their tradition, culture, everything, even the language, quite different. So they do not match with the Indian people. So now it is better that we should learn their descent, of Greek and Arabic descent. There are many theories, and among them the two theories are very important. Now the first theory, according to the historians, the first theory, the people of Korg are possibly of Greek or Arabic descent. They belong to the Greek or they belong to the Arabians. Maybe their forefathers must have come there and they settled there. That's why their tradition, culture, everything is quite different from the mainstream of India. So you can see there. Number B, a part of the Alexander's army. You have heard about Alexander, who came up to Sindh, and he met the king Porus in Taxila. So you can understand, Alexander, he wanted to invade India also. Because of the king Porus, he could not advance. But some of his army moved, the patrolling army, a part of the Alexander's army moved south along the coast. According to this theory, Alexander's army, who was patrolling, who was moving forward, so they moved south along the coast. When the return was impractical due to the rains, maybe in India the monsoon, you know it very well. When the return journey was impractical, they could not return. Maybe they have lost the way, maybe due to some other factors. When the return was impractical, these Greek soldiers, they settled down there. They settled down there in Cork. So this is one theory. A part of Alexander's army, they settled there. So their tradition, because their tradition, marriage, religious rites, the methods, the process, religious processes, religious rites, ceremonies are very different from the people of India. Their language, the way of dressing, the way of their culture, and even their tradition, everything is very, very different from the Hindu or the Indian mainstream, from the Indian people. They're very different. So their tradition, religious ceremonies and marriages, they match the Greeks. Greek had their tradition and their tradition also matched them. So now here, another theory. This is one theory about the Greek descent, of their Greek descent. So now the second theory, another theory of their Arab origin, draws from the long black coat. These corgis, they put on long black coat with an embroidered waist belt worn by the Cordovas. The people of these Korg, or the Corgi people, or you can say Cordovas, they wear long coat with the belt worn on their waist, known as kupia. It is known as kupia. They used to carry a small knife. Kodavas known as Kupia. West belt along with a small knife worn by the Kodavas known as Kupia. It resemble means look like. It resembles the kufiya worn by the Arabs. You can see by their dress, the long coat and the kufiya they wear on the west resembles the Arabs. According to that, they may be from the Arabian descent because in olden days Arabians, they used to come for trade. They used to come to India for trade, and maybe some of the Arabs, they must have settled there. So that's why these people are quite different from Indian people. The origin may be from Arabs or of Greek descent. So these are the two theories of their descent. Now here, Corgi people and their homes, the people of Korg or Kodavas, you can say that. The Corgi people and their homes are known for their hospitality. They are very hospitable. They like the strangers. They used to treat them very nicely. They welcome the strangers in their homes, feed them. They used to feed them. They used to welcome the strangers, whoever used to go there to visit. The strangers or outsiders are welcome. That's, you can say that, hospitable. The Corgi people and their homes are known for their hospitality. They welcome the strangers. They like the strangers. They welcome them. They treat them as their guests. There are endless tales. Tales means stories. There are numerous stories of valor. Valor means bravery. There are endless tales of valor related to the people of Korg. So their forefathers, they have done very brave acts, an act of valor. There are numerous tales of their forefathers, and these tales can be heard if anyone goes there and lives with them for some days. They could hear or they can understand the act of their forefathers' valor. So they used to tell the story, the tales of their forefathers, the tales of their valor, so the stranger could understand. So because they are known for their hospitality, they are not aggressive against the strangers, they are very hospitable. So anyone goes there, try to make a contact with them, so they could hear the numerous tales of their way. So now in our next class we'll talk about a tourist paradise. This is a place to visit once in a lifetime because it's a very beautiful place and a place full of various type of birds, animals, even fruits, and the land of rolling hills. A very beautiful place to visit. A tourist paradise. Paradise, you know, it is a heaven, but it's not exactly a heaven, but it can be compared like. In the beginning of the lesson, we have learned that the writer wrote that a piece of heaven must have fallen from the kingdom of gods. It is described like that. This definitely shows that the place is very, very beautiful. A place to visit once in a lifetime. So that's all for today. In our next class, we'll talk about a tourist paradise, about this land, about the people, about their hospitality, and about the land. Why it is called a tourist paradise. We'll talk about that once more in the last section. Then we'll go to the tea from Assam. We'll talk about that. So that's all for today. Thank you very much for your presence and for your attention. Thank you very much. Do not miss your classes. Every day you go through the online portal. You have very short classes. That much you can do that. So that's all for today. Thank you very much. We'll meet in the next class.